I think it's no secret that a lot of games on Roblox are either inspired by other popular games, both in and outside of Roblox, or just entirely copied in some cases. Though, sometimes the copy is the one that becomes absolutely massive. I want to take a trip down memory lane a little. Back to a time when games on Roblox had a lot more class. Actually, class wouldn't be the word I would use to describe them. I think the word I'm actually looking for is soul. Now, I know this isn't my usual type of content, but just trust me, I think this is interesting and actually a pretty good showing of how Roblox as a platform has sort of evolved throughout the years, from a platform where a few small devs could make a game to where now the market is more or less dominated by larger development teams. Now, before we begin, I want to have a sort of personal talk for my personal like for these fashion games. When I was younger, it was always sort of a guilty pleasure of mine to hop on Roblox and play Dance Off and Fashion Famous. Listen, if you know what it was like to be a middle school boy, then you know you cannot let anyone catching you playing these games, or else you'd be called gay. And being called gay in middle school in the mid-2010s was social suicide. Now, I don't particularly care about that anymore. My perspective on things has changed just a little bit. What? It's a good song! All of this is to say that Fashion Famous and Dance Off were elite games in 2010's Roblox, even if I did have to hide the fact that I liked them because prepubescent boys can be extremely cruel. But what about these earlier dress-up games were so enticing to me? I mean, after all, Dress to Impress essentially has their exact same formula, and they are certainly not dying anytime soon, so obviously they had something going for them. And I think that the best place to look is in the earliest game that I could find that follows this genre, Fashion Famous. I don't know, maybe I'm not in the loop, but Fashion Famous is the earliest game I could find that would follow this basic type of gameplay, and my god was it huge at some point. The premise of Fashion Famous was really simple. You were given a category and you had to dress up in that category with clothes that were given to you in the dress up phase of the game. Meaning that, yes, while you were limited by the clothes that you could pick, you were never limited by your imagination. A shirt that could be used as a K-pop idol could also be used as comfortable wear. It's unironically kind of genius. After all, one of the big selling points on Roblox as a platform, especially back then, was the ability to turn your avatar into whatever you wanted. So this was kind of like the perfect games, not only allowed creativity and dress up to do well in the game, but also be able to do a sort of mini scout out for your next outfit on Roblox. If your parents let you get Robux, after all, mine never did. After the dress-up phase, you were put into the voting phase where everyone would see everyone else's avatars one at a time on the runway and rate it on a scale of 1 out of 5. I don't know if the star system was ever accurate though. I mean, my outfit is gas. I should have won this. There was just a certain charm to Fashion Famous, and the numbers show. This game was kind of a titan back then. It now boasts over 350 million visits, and it still has a small player base to this day. And even a Discord, but the Discord's kind of dead. I don't know what I expected, but yeah, the Discord's dead. Fashion Famous kind of showed that there really was a market for this type of game. I mean, why wouldn't there be? Dress up is literally one of the big things that children often play, and with Roblox being a more children-oriented platform, it was bound to do really well. I think the biggest plus that it had, though, was the fact that you could choose between male and female clothing, something that successors would just be lacking. Though outside of this, there wasn't that much in terms of customization on the stage. Sure, you had emotes and little dances that you could do, but otherwise, it was kind of bland. That's where One Yes Man 9 comes in. Dance Off was sort of the successor to Fashion Famous, and you can tell this is an older Roblox game because the UI doesn't match well with my aspect ratio. I would say that Dance Off was almost a complete upgrade to Fashion Famous in almost every way. It had good clothes, more dances, and the ability to customize the stage entirely. Now, instead of it being a runway, it was more like you're performing to an audience, a la Lady Gaga. Don't worry, she actually comes up later, which is insane to say considering we're talking about Roblox. Dance Off more or less kept the same formula while just making it better overall. And these games were both titans at one point in Roblox's history. They were fun, simple, addicting, and not hard on low-end devices. Sadly, they just don't see much play anymore. They have the charm of the mid to late 2010s Roblox. It wasn't anything fancy, but it certainly got the job done, especially considering these were made by either single developers or a really small team. Sadly though, if you know how Roblox is currently, then you should know where this is headed. And that, of course, is Dress to Impress, the sort of corporate version of these games. Clean models and really that's the only thing that I can think of that it has going for it. I don't know what it is about Dress to Impress, it just weirds me out. I think it's the eyes. Yeah, it's definitely the eyes. Dress to Impress theoretically does everything that the other games do, but better. Well, except, of course, letting me customize the stage and letting me perform, but, you know, it's whatever. I'm not salty about that. You're salty about that. Though the ridiculous paywall for a lot of the clothing and for VIP is crazy, and while I do get it, and I'm not even saying that there wasn't a VIP system in the other two games, but the monetization of Dress to Impress is kind of crazy, especially considering that masculine clothing is very sparse, which the other games just simply did not have an issue with. And while yes, Dress to Impress does have a, well, more impressive wardrobe in terms of how it looks, I'd argue that it takes away the whole point of the other games where it was to dress up your character using already existing clothing on the Roblox marketplace to create something new, and maybe let you sort of scout out your next avatar's clothing. Dress to Impress just kinda takes that whole aspect away, you know? Maybe that's just me though. It just looks too clean, you know? Also, the damn eyes again. I hate these hyper-realistic faces. They don't look good. They scare me. I'm terrified. No, but in all seriousness, Dress to Impress is like the corporate shill version of Fashion Famous. It has all the components of the two others. It has huge collabs with celebrities like Lady freaking Gaga, Miss Poker Face herself. And yet, it is probably one of the games I'd point to when I'm asked about a game that just doesn't have a soul. The best way I could compare Fashion Famous to Dress to Impress is, Fashion Famous is like a home-cooked meal. It doesn't look the greatest, but compared to a restaurant that mass-produces its food, it's a lot better and is more filling. These games have a real legacy on Roblox. Maybe they aren't as influential as others. After all, there is a very specific type of game that has a very specific demographic, but obviously that demographic is pretty big. Sorry, this wasn't meant to be a Dress to Impress smear campaign. Side tangent over. All of this is to say that Fashion Famous and Dance Off were some of my favorite games when I was just a lad. Again, the people at school could never find this out, but it's true. They were. And I think this is just the perfect example of the corporatization of Roblox. Fashion Famous and Dance Off had soul. You could tell that they were made by people with actual passion, but Dress to Impress just doesn't feel like that. I feel a husk of a game whenever I play Dress to Impress. It has the looks, but no personality, no soul. But it has become a titan on Roblox, more so than the rest ever were, so all I have is my nostalgia and my ability to remember some of the fun moments I had and some of the people I met. I know this is different from my regular content, but I just felt like I had to say it and honor the games that just don't get talked about much anymore. I did it for Night of the Werewolf, and I was bound to do it for these games eventually. Anyway, I'm gone, because I'm tired. I recorded this at like 6 a.m. and I want a nap.